Let's make Dijon sauce beef. I'm using some beef soup bones and I'm also going to use some sour oranges and some lime. I like to juice them and then I save the sour orange so I could clean the meat with it. I also add in some homemade epis to my mixture as well as some Maggi, and then I rub the sour orange all over the beef. I also add in my hot water, let it sit for a bit, and then afterwards I make my cuts. After I make the cuts, I add in the epis mixture that I already have. Let it sit for about 2 hours or so. And then once I was ready, I added some olive oil cover so it could sweat. And then added in some tomato paste, added in some thyme with some cilantro because I didn't have any parsley. And I added in some pimo, some cloves poked into it, and the water from the epis bowl. Once everything was cooked down a bit, I took out the cilantro and I took out the pepper. And then I added in some carrots and some potatoes, as well as some peppers and then some onions, and I let that cook. Now for the jonjo, I have some fresh jonjo. I boiled it and then I strained it and I saved the broth, of course. And then I added in some olive oil to my pot, some epis, some salt, and then I added in some frozen peas. You can do lima beans, but I like to do peas. And then I let that fry down. Then I added in some coconut milk, of course. And then I added in some pimo, some cloves again, and some cilantro. Also the broth from the jonjo. Afterwards, once that was boiling, I added in some jasmine rice. And I let that cook until everything was ready. And that is pretty much it. Serve it up and enjoy.